A warning is issued by Utah State University tonight. What we know about the sexual assault that triggered the Code Blue and student safety on campus.
Governor Gary Herbert wants Utah lawmakers to find a solution to medical marijuana in Utah.
Our rural patients are not going to have the access that they need.
Why advocates aren't convinced the special session will fix anything.
Human remains are found in a storage unit in Ogden. New at 9, what tipped police off and why they say the death is suspicious.
More activity on the radar today, and we're going to see our chances for rain for the Wasatch Front go up even more. I'll have your breakdown on what to expect coming up.
He comes in and you're just already calm and collected and ready for the day.
A service dog in Ogden with a unique specialty. We'll explain who he's trained to help.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
Good evening, everyone. We'll get to all of those stories in just a moment. But first, the rain has really picked up within the last hour.
Heavy rain, lightning, thunder, all here in northern Utah, in northern Salt Lake County, I should say. Let's get over to Fox 13 Chief Meteorologist Kristen Van Dyke. What's going on out there, Kristen?
Yeah, a nice cluster of thunderstorms rolling up through the valley, south to north, bringing very heavy rain and frequent lightning. And right now we're watching a very heavy cell that's trying to develop right over the mountains near some burn scars areas over near and east of Bountiful. Here's a look at the satellite and radar. You can see everything again moving from south to north, but let's zoom on in and talk about what's happening right along the Wasatch Front. North Salt Lake starting to calm things down. Bountiful, same thing, but look at all this lightning that's heading east over the mountains where we've had some burning here. So we're watching this closely. This is very intense, heavy rain that could drop a lot in a very small amount of time, and that's going to continue, of course, to roll to the north too, pushing through Weber, Davis counties. As you head east out towards Summit Park, Wasatch back, seeing thunderstorm activity there as well. And as we continue west, we have more moderately heavy showers developing out towards Tooele, and all of this is going to be lifting to the north. So we still have moderately heavy rain coming down in the Salt Lake Valley and Salt Lake County, but most of the heavier stuff is pushing up towards Layton, eventually maybe even skirting to the east of Ogden, right over the higher terrain there. Some scattered showers back to the west. Down south, we do have a few more scattered showers in the St. George area. Western Beaver and Iron counties also seeing thunderstorm activity too. We will see a tendency for this to completely fizzle out late tonight, but by tomorrow morning, we could be looking at another round moving through across northern Utah. So we have more action to come. I'll have more of my full forecast in a few minutes.
All right, Kristen, thank you. Our other top story tonight, some Utah State University students are on edge after reports of a sexual assault near campus.
A third party told the school it happened at a fraternity house just last Saturday, and drugs may have been involved. Fox 13's Elle Thomas joins us live from Utah State University in Logan tonight. Elle.
Yeah, hey, Kelly and Bob. You know, sadly, sexual assault is something that's just far too common near college campuses across the country. But Utah State says they want to be transparent when one is reported, just so the community knows how to take action. Students rolling through campus, passing signs which read, "I ask," the orange thought bubble acting as a reminder for consent. But today, the issue of sexual assault is all too real.
I was sitting in my dorm room today studying, and I looked down and I had an email from Utah State.
Riley is among the thousands who received this, a timely warning notice.
So it's nice that campus is aware of it and they're letting us know so that we can be aware of it as students.
The message alerting them to a reported sexual assault that happened near campus on August 31st.
A third party came to a campus resource to report it. A student was at a fraternity. There was a sexual assault, and we believe, or they believe, that it was drug facilitated, and so we felt like that was enough information. We really needed to send it out.
While they don't know much else about this incident, the university says the blast is a small way they can make change.
We really feel like we can't address these issues in our community unless we involve the whole community. It's on all of us, and it takes all of us to make it better.
Both on campus and beyond.
I think it's really helpful because not only does it help us think through these situations, but it also stimulates these conversations on campus so that we can foster a healthy campus environment.
The university says they do not know who the suspect is. They also would not say which fraternity this took place at. Live in Logan, Elle Thomas, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Elle, this is not the first time the university has taken action in light of a sexual assault on campus. Back in 2015, Victoria Hewlett was raped by a fraternity member. USU ended up paying Hewlett $250,000 in a settlement. Now, Utah State requires both fraternities and sororities to submit a report of all known allegations or reports of misconduct once a semester. Governor Gary Herbert has called a special session of the Utah legislature to address medical marijuana in the state.
The session will begin Monday, September 16th. The governor says he wants the state's medical marijuana program off the ground by next March. Fox 13 News caught up with the governor yesterday at his annual Utah Rural Summit in Cedar City.
So fixing some of the problems on dispensing, how we access it, make it more accessible around the state. Certainly at the top of the list.
The legislature replaced the voter-approved Proposition 2 with their own bill after concerns surrounding state-run dispensaries. Now, some items in the replacement bill are being reworked. Advocates for medical marijuana users fear this special session is only a temporary fix.
All these delays and having the opposition put in and add all their language to a bill that just is not functioning does exactly what the opposition wants: delayed implementation at the cost of patient suffering. And I'm personally tired of seeing it happen.
Fox 13's Ben Winslow is tracking this story closely. We'll have continuing coverage both on air and online at fox13now.com.
Now to a developing story along the Atlantic coast tonight. This is a live look at North Topsail Beach, North Carolina, where the rain is coming down hard and you can see the wind is blowing that camera around and those trees. You can see the rain being driven. The eye wall of Hurricane Dorian has come ashore in North Carolina. It is a Category 2 storm right now.
Now, the storm already did a lot of damage in the Carolinas. This all before the eye of the storm actually reached North Carolina's shore. Fox's Ray Bogan is in Charleston, South Carolina tonight.
Hurricane Dorian has led to tornadoes and widespread power outages, all without making landfall. The Carolinas getting lashed with Dorian's winds and pounding rain.
If you don't need to be out, don't go out. And in this kind of situation, you don't need to go out. Stay off the streets. It's very dangerous.
Multiple tornadoes have touched down, destroying homes. And as the storm moves up the coast, North Carolina's Governor Roy Cooper says tornadoes remain a threat.
If your area is feeling the impacts of Dorian, stay home and safe. Don't risk your life or the lives of first responders.
Here in South Carolina, hundreds of thousands of people are without power. Utility companies say they beefed up their personnel before the storm, but with the slow-moving hurricane expected to continue pounding the area, it's unknown when the restoration will be completed. Flooding has overtaken many local streets. Meantime, in the Bahamas, rescue crews are trying to find anyone still in need of immediate help. The widespread devastation being called a humanitarian crisis.
Any kind of help that we could get from any other country, the country really greatly appreciate it, because people would be on a job for months to come.
Relief agencies are finally able to reach residents delayed by the damage to local airports. Even if Hurricane Dorian remains offshore, the tropical storm conditions will likely remain through Friday. In Charleston, South Carolina, Ray Bogan, Fox News.
New at 9, police in Ogden are investigating what led up to human remains being found inside a storage unit. The remains were found late this afternoon on Grant Avenue between 28th and 29th Street. Police say the body was so badly decomposed, they could not tell if the victim was a male or a female.
The investigation's ongoing. We do have a few leads that we can look at to try and figure out how and why this happened. It is suspicious.
The autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow morning. A 50-year-old man is dead after crashing his pickup truck under the trailer of a semi-truck. Salt Lake police say the pickup was involved in an accident just west of Bangerter Highway at 18th South. That pickup driver then took off, driving erratically. The truck jumped a curb before hitting the back of the parked semi near 17th South and 47th West.
2 men are behind bars accused of being behind 2 drive-by shootings in Taylorsville this week. Police accused 19-year-old Edward Peralta Moran and 21-year-old Ramon Avila of being involved in the shootings on Chantel Drive on Sunday and Tuesday. Detectives say they arrested the 2 in Midvale yesterday when they found 2 stolen guns inside their car during a traffic stop. Investigators also found more guns and drugs at a home in Sandy.
Now, after 2 days, firefighters finally in Tooele County say they're gaining the upper hand on the Green Ravine fire. That fire has burned more than 2,000 acres, but officials say it is now 80% contained tonight. The biggest challenge ground crews are facing is all the rocky terrain in the area. 40 more firefighters were expected to arrive today.
A Utah woman has been arrested in the Philippines, accused of trying to fly out of the country with a baby packed in her carry-on bag. Investigators say Jennifer Talbot of Sandy appeared to be traveling alone. Inspectors found the 6-day-old infant when they inspected her suitcase. Philippine authorities say Talbot claimed to be the child's aunt, but didn't have any evidence they were related. Back here in Utah, her husband told CNN he believes his wife just misplaced the paperwork.
Coming up on Fox 13 News at 9.
2 people are dead after a plane crash in Morgan County.
Somebody's family's been changed forever.
What we're learning about the victims and what they were doing before the plane went down.
People have to be held accountable for what they do.
Cases that have been cold for years now being put into a database for law enforcement to review. It's been 7 months, and I'll show you the progress they're making.
Plus, the bond between man and man's best friend continues to ring true. Hear how this dog is helping save lives.
And can BYU pick themselves up? They're in SEC country this week.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
The families of cold case murder victims are now one step closer to having closure tonight.
The Utah Department of Public Safety's new cold case database already has a lot of entries. Fox 13's Aaron Cox reports.
This will show you the search pages.
With a click of her mouse, Kathy Mackey shows the PowerPoint training she gives to law enforcement on the new cold case database.
Oh, ask me, well, I've got this case, but we've almost got it solved. Like, let me ask you this question. Do you think your suspect could have killed someone else and you don't know about it?
Some officers tell Mackey yes. They then put that information into the new database along with the 179 other entries. Nearly that many still need to be entered.
Our deadline is February of 2020, and my goal is to hopefully help the agencies get them in there sooner so we can start moving to the next step, and that is analyzing the information in the database and hopefully making some connections there.
So far, they have 57 missing persons cases entered and 122 unsolved homicide cases entered. Some of these cases are closed but are put into the system because officers might think the persons involved could be connected to another case. Right now, they're listed under 4 categories: serial killers, gangs, truck drivers, or people with a lot of access to roadways throughout the state, and people they believe could have had a past with murder.
There's always that chance that they did something in the past that no one's aware of. You know, it might have not been their first murder. It might have been their second or third, and we don't know that.
Organizing the records, Mackey says they're trying to get these cases in the national database. Currently, she's working on 13 cold cases.
I'm excited to see the smiles on the families' faces when we are able to not bring closure, but bring resolution.
In 2020, Kathy says she hopes to create a committee full of homicide experts who can review this data and then discuss ways they can solve the cases. In Salt Lake City, Aaron Cox, Fox 13 News, Utah.
The time between Memorial Day and Labor Day is considered the 100 deadliest days of summer on Utah roads. But this year, those days were significantly less deadly. Last summer, 102 people died on Utah roads during the summer. This year, UDOT says 41 fewer people died. Officials don't believe it's simply luck. They always design roads to be as safe as possible. They also say drivers seem to be making better decisions, listening to warnings, and using common sense.
94% of crashes being caused by human error. That means that people are listening to our messages. They're buckling up. They're putting the phones down. They're not driving aggressive or distracted or, DUI.
UDOT says the 59 deaths this summer is still too many. In 10 of those crashes, the people were not wearing seatbelts. Fox 13 is a proud partner with Utah Highway Patrol and UDOT for the only acceptable goal, which is 0 fatalities. To find out more about how you can keep Utah roads safe, go to fox13now.com.
A new report from the nonpartisan Utah Foundation is recommending Utahns consider changing the way we all pay for water. Right now, Utah's biggest water providers rely on property taxes, so most Utahns really don't even pay close to the real cost of what they actually use. The report says a system where we pay for what we use would be the cheapest way to meet demands and also lead to conservation. The report also recommends helping farms modernize their irrigation.
An Ogden service dog is helping an unlikely group of people overcome traumatic situations that they've faced.
As Fox 13's Lauren Steinbrecher shows us, Copper, the chocolate lab, is specially trained to help the people who are used to helping others.
Good boy.
He's here to give love and comfort.
It's been one of those days, Copper.
And service dog kisses. Copper detects what this group might not be able to.
Can change the mood of a fire station instantly just by coming through the door. Good boy. Come on, buddy. Copper, come say hi.
Having Copper here, it brings a smile to my face.
He's the newest member of Ogden City Fire. Copper's job, help these firefighters fight trauma.
He treats acute post-traumatic stress. Let's make Ryan's day better.
It literally just takes away tension that you may not have even realized was there.
Tension from running to calls, seeing people at their worst, helping crisis after crisis. It takes a toll.
We tend to put ourselves last. We're really focused on the job, focused on what the next call is.
Not how the last call affected them.
What we're not good at is reaching out for help when we may be struggling.
Captain Williams knows how crucial it is to give these men and women a way to reach out.
Good sit, buddy. Good boy sit. That's a good boy sit. 6 years ago, we lost a firefighter, one of Ogden's firefighters, to suicide. Within the first hour of him being off shift, took his own life.
He says Ogden City Fire responded that morning, but couldn't save their fellow colleague. An eye-opener for them on the importance of focusing on a first responder's mental health and well-being, which can start with a friendly dog.
Talking about it is the first step in prevention. How you guys doing?
Copper.
How's your guys' day going?
Hi. Better now. Hi.
Better now.
Now, in addition to bringing in Copper, the fire department has also partnered with a psychologist, someone that the firefighters can talk to if they need to. In Ogden, Lauren Steinbrecher, Fox 13 News, Utah.
But you guys agree on some days when it rains, it pours?
Oh, yeah.
And
Exactly.
it poured tonight.
It sure did. Right out here by the airport, it was coming down in buckets.
It was like that up and down the valley, and it's been a quick mover, thankfully, because it was dumping a lot of heavy rain all at once. Lots of lightning, too, and these storms are on the move to the north and east. The strongest stuff starting to weaken a bit, so at least we're not seeing as intense rain as what we saw earlier, but we still have some moderately heavy rain scattered around the area. So when you zoom on into Salt Lake County, up towards Davis County and back to the east too, you can see showers do remain, and there's still some moderately heavy rain and even a few claps of thunder as lightning continues to strike right there in the northwestern part of Salt Lake County between Salt Lake and Bountiful, and up towards Morgan. We're still seeing some moderately heavy rain there as well. Zooming on in, you can see it's not as intense. Whenever you start to lose the oranges and the reds, you know that it's starting to weaken a little bit, but there is still a little bit there. So some pockets of heavy rain continuing for the Wasatch back out towards Hanover. Colville still seeing some of those heavier showers too. Lightning strikes not as numerous as the storms start to weaken. And again, just mainly light to moderate rain remaining for most of Salt Lake County, but back towards West Valley and Holiday. Still seeing some of that light rain. Harriman too, towards Tooele. Showers are calming down, but still some moderately heavy rain falling over the Ochre Mountains and the Tooele Valley. Good news for helping with any of those fires. This is good wetting rains to put on them. And then as we broaden the view view up a little bit more, you can still see some moderately heavy showers out towards Box Elder and Tooele County. Those are going to be moving up to the north. Down south, still some scattered showers as well. You can see that back towards Nevada, but working their way into Iron and Beaver County. These are going to be moving to the north, and even St. George getting in on some of the action. So everything's weakening. We'll continue to see things gradually weaken through the rest of the night. And then when we wake up tomorrow morning, we will have leftover cloud cover in place and maybe a couple of stray showers in the morning. There will be that chance, especially in western Utah. And then we'll have more of an overcast day, leftover cloud cover, occasional showers here and there. You can see them popping up mainly over the higher terrain. But the cloudier it is, the tougher it will be to get those really strong thunderstorms going. We get some breaks in the clouds and some sunshine. You might see a little more activity when it comes to shower and thunderstorm chances. Otherwise, that moisture will start to leave us a little bit by Friday night, so that by Saturday, we're back to full-on sunshine. We start to warm things up. Tomorrow will be cooler. You'll notice that. We'll start to warm things up a little bit more on Saturday afternoon, and then we gear up for another system on Sunday. Here's the latest radar imagery of Hurricane Dorian, and watch the eye of this hurricane as it just comes up and skirts the Carolina coastline. It still has not made landfall. It doesn't make landfall until the eye of that storm hits land, and it hasn't happened yet. But as you can see, as it continues to graze the coastline, there's still that slight chance we could see it make landfall right along the coast of North Carolina later tonight, early tomorrow morning. We'll watch it closely for you, but at least it's going in the right direction, back to the north and east out to sea. Your forecast tomorrow morning, temps in the 60s and 70s, 50s for the Wasatch back. For the afternoon, low to mid 80s, so we'll enjoy that nice little cool down tomorrow. Upper 90s down south. And your 7-day forecast for southern Utah, upper 90s Friday and Saturday, a chance for storms Saturday down south, but overall a much drier forecast, low 90s, so cooler next week. And we're going to get a little taste of fall. We'll have the middle and upper 80s for the next couple of days, which will feel better. Then we're back to the 70s Sunday, Monday, and we can see another cool down next Wednesday with low 70s returning.
It's a big cool down. Thanks, Kristen. Still to come, sex education was not on the agenda, but a bunch of activists showed up to talk about it at the state school board meeting today. We're going to tell you why they were upset.
Plus, see how state wildlife officials want you to be aware of bears the next time you go camping.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
If you like fishing for catfish, now is the time.
They're splashing.
Yeah, Utah DWR officers are planting channel catfish in community ponds, and they, as you can see, are big ones. A lot of people fish at ponds such as Midas, Kidney, and the riverfront in South Jordan, and need to be restocked from time to time. Now, these fish were brought in from Arkansas, which is a source of good quality catfish, and they are disease certified, meaning they're not introducing anything foreign to Utah waters.
You know, there have been so many interactions with black bears this summer that the Division of Wildlife Resources wants you to be bear aware. So officers set up a real campsite at the Utah State Fair today. On items that will not attract a bear, like this lantern, they put a green check on. Then this red X, it marked things that would attract a bear, like a toothbrush and toothpaste, a cooler with food in it. Also things like cologne and deodorant. Do you bring cologne when you go camping?
Yeah,
Rob?
all the time.
Okay,
I
all
actually
right.
do,
Well,
yes.
Be cautious. The DWR wants Utahns to learn how to coexist with the bears and also avoid dangerous interactions.
Coming up after the break.
2 people are killed in a plane crash in Morgan County.
That's something that would be probably pretty horrifying to see.
What we know about the people who were on board.
A Utah woman called 911 to report a DUI. We'll show you why she ended up behind bars.
Why should any child have to be exposed to questions and answers that they did not ask?
Sex ed guidelines in Utah have many conservative activists upset. Tonight, their message to the State Board of Education.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
We now know the names of 2 men killed in a small plane crash yesterday a few miles west of Hennifer in Morgan County. 60-year-old Kenneth Cram, also 34-year-old Samuel Courtwright, were surveying pipelines in the area when their Cessna 210 went down. Fox 13's Adam Herbetz shows us how it happened.
It all started with a routine takeoff Wednesday afternoon out of Evanston, Wyoming. 2 men in this plane working for a company called Hawkeye Helicopter.
To the best of my knowledge, it's a company that flies helicopters and planes checking pipelines. It looked like it impacted pretty hard.
Investigators aren't sure how or even when, but the plane crashed onto a cattle ranch a few miles west of Hennifer. This woman's neighbor found the wreckage Thursday morning.
Somebody's family's been changed forever. Feel bad for Jake. That's something that would be probably pretty horrifying to see and, just come up on it. So, yeah, just a sad day for a lot of people.
At first, crews couldn't find the crash site because it's in such a remote area, but they knew the plane was missing. The pilot's wife called it in, worried, when she never heard back from her husband.
Somebody's lives have been changed forever, and yeah, my heart goes out to them.
The victims have been identified as 34-year-old Samuel Courtwright and 60-year-old Kenneth Cram. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. Reporting in Morgan County, Adam Herbets, Fox 13 News, Utah.
New at 9, we're learning about Utah's hot car death, the first one this year. A search warrant indicates 6-month-old Wade Taylor died on August 13th after being found in a hot car in Santaquin. Police say the boy's mother was running errands that day and didn't notice what happened to her son. The boy's body temperature was 109 degrees. This is the nation's 40th hot car death this year.
Police say a woman was arrested for driving under the influence after she called to report a drunk driver. Police say this woman, 32-year-old Brianna Dawn Hernandez, was drunk herself when she called 911 while in Woods Cross on August 16th. A police affidavit noted that she was laughing uncontrollably, also burping on the phone, and described herself as well as her own car. When officers spotted her, she took off and struggled with those officers. Hernandez was finally arrested for DUI and drinking alcohol inside a vehicle.
2 police departments worked together to arrest a fugitive last night. Authorities had been searching for Jacob Steelen, who they say is connected to a string of burglaries. They also say he got away from Sandy police more than a month ago. Last night, officers say Steelen led them on a wild chase. They had to call in air support. Officers say they have recovered several stolen items in connection with recent burglaries.
More electric scooters and e-bikes could be coming to Santa Clara. According to the St. George News, during last night's city council meeting, members talked about bringing Zagster's scooters and e-bikes to the city. 2 years ago, St. George signed an agreement with Zagster to bring e-bikes to southern Utah. A year later, the city signed another agreement to bring electric scooters to the area.
Utah's sex education guidelines have some of the state's best-known conservative activists upset.
They voiced their opinions to the State Board of Education this morning. Fox 13's Max Roth explains what has them so concerned.
First, a warning. This story is not explicit, but it is about sex education, so it does mention the existence of sensitive topics. Those topics are in this Health Education Teacher's Guide. Now, it's not new, but a group of activists recently saw it for the first time and took their complaints to the State Board of Education.
I have read these same questions, and I think most parents and grandparents would be shocked.
The guide offers advice on a number of subjects, but the protest is over 29 questions and answers about sex.
Why should any child have to be exposed to questions and answers that they did not ask?
Examples of questions include, how do you put on a condom? On that, teachers deflect. That's a technique question I can't answer. Can a girl become pregnant from A, B, or C? That evokes simple answers to each circumstance. And another question, can I still be a virgin if I A, B, or C? And the teachers give a more subtle definition, saying people define virginity differently. They give examples and a reminder of risks.
I don't understand why we're trying to hook these children on these sexual concepts so early, before they're even emotionally and sexually mature.
This vocal opposition may not represent the mainstream. Some evidence in the most recent legislative session and Representative Raymond Ward's bill allowing teachers to talk about the medical characteristics, effectiveness, limitations, and risks of contraception. The representative read letters from teachers in a committee meeting.
I really hate when we are having class discussions and a student wants to know more and asks a very serious question. I have to tell them that I cannot talk about it because of the state law. I would rather have a student get correct information from me than from a friend or the internet. It is such a sticking point for a lot of us. How do you teach something so important without risking your career and livelihood to what others may interpret you as saying?
Representative Ward's bill passed both the House and the Senate unanimously. Now, that's despite early opposition from some of the same activists who were at this Board of Education hearing that we just heard today. In the newsroom, Max Roth, Fox 13 News, Utah.
The beautiful Salt Lake City skyline may soon be changing in a big way.
We'll show you where a 39-story high-rise may be added to the downtown landscape in tonight's Growing Utah.
And buyer beware, the warning one couple says they have for people after they were swindled out of hundreds of dollars.
It's been a stormy night out there and showers are still developing. We may be looking at another round of it moving in tomorrow. I'll have more on that, plus a big cool down we're all ready for in your full forecast coming up.
You're watching Fox 13 News. Let's connect.
Welcome back, everyone. Michigan is now the first state to ban sales on flavored e-cigarettes. The state will prohibit both online and retail sales of the products within the next few weeks. It will also ban any misleading marketing or descriptions using the words clean, safe, and healthy. The ban, however, does not prohibit the sale of tobacco-flavored e-cigarettes. A couple near Detroit has a warning for everyone tonight after they were swindled out of almost $500.
Thomas Greenarch and his wife saved for 6 months to get their 14-year-old daughter a new smartphone. They found a good deal on an app and met the 18-year-old selling the phone.
Then as soon as they started to open the wrapper off the box, you see what's the deal here. The seller took off, leaving them with this. Instead of the phone, they found nothing but 2 bars of soap inside.
I was more angry with myself, I think, that it happened. I guess in retrospect, you can see things, but at the time, it seemed legitimate.
That is so rotten. Police say the best way to avoid this type of scam is to meet up at a public place to add just a layer of security there during your transaction. They also recommend you check the product before you hand over your hard-earned cash.
Yeah, by the way, the couple was eventually able to buy a phone for their daughter. They met the seller at the local police department. Still ahead, the Huntsman Cancer Institute is expanding. See where they are breaking ground on a new comprehensive cancer care center.
And later in sports, we're breaking down BYU and Tennessee in Knoxville this week. And the National Football League, let's just say there's no going back. Highlights from Chicago, back in a bit.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
A downtown Salt Lake City's skyline is about to reach new heights with a proposed residential skyscraper.
And it's going to be in good company. Fox 13's Haley Higgins explains in this Growing Utah report.
39 floors reaching 440 feet high.
I think it'll be nice.
Kensington Tower could become the tallest building in the state.
Instead of spreading out, people want to build up.
It's slated for the corner of State Street and 200 South, the current home of a Carl's Jr. While it hasn't been approved by the city yet, the plans for the luxury apartment building put it about 20 feet higher than the Wells Fargo building, which currently holds the top spot.
It is significant.
Salt Lake's planning director, Nick Norris, says the mammoth project comes during unprecedented growth.
We're in our busiest period of growth that we've ever experienced as a city.
Norris says a healthy economy is pushing downtown construction to new heights.
But that's not the only residential high-rise going up on State Street.
The 24-story Liberty Sky project was just approved last week. The $90 million development will be built at 150 South State Street. And just a block north, another major high-rise is under construction. Tower 9 will reach 396 feet, and that will be the 4th tallest in the city. While this will be office space, hundreds of high-rent apartments are expected to change downtown.
They'll be paying taxes, they'll bring business in,
this State Street will be a booming place pretty soon.
Kensington Tower is expected to be approved by the city later this year, with construction slated for 2021. In Salt Lake City, Haley Higgins, Fox 13 News, Utah.
And while on the topic of growth, the Huntsman Cancer Center Institute is expanding once again. It's going to be called the Catherine F. Kirk Center for Comprehensive Cancer Care and Women's Cancers. It will be 8 stories tall. It will include 48 new inpatient hospital rooms. The center will also provide services to help them deal with the pain of cancer during chemotherapy as well as other treatments.
So we'll have 7,000 square feet expansion, which will include a cooking demonstration kitchen, doubling the space for acupuncture and massage therapy. We'll be able to offer group music therapy sessions, writing therapy sessions, and also additional art making sessions.
The building is projected to cost $148 million, much of which has already been provided by donors. Now, the expected completion date is August of 2022. After a major renovation, the Larry H. and Gail Miller Family Club is open once again in Murray, and it's really cool. It's at the site of the former Murray Boys and Girls Club, and today was the grand reopening of the new 10,000 square foot addition. Look at how cool it is. It's going to now allow additional 100 elementary school kids to enjoy the facilities each and every day, which include a video gaming center as well as other games like air hockey and pool.
I hope they can see how exciting life can be and how many opportunities there are. And I also hope they can appreciate the people who make this happen and then aspire to have those kinds of roles as they grow older.
And it's not all fun and games, however. The club's STEM Center provides opportunities to learn about everything from computers and robotics to sewing machines and laser cutters. It's fancy.
Yeah. Thunder, lightning, heavy rain, and
Gusty winds.
and the winds. We're not talking about Hurricane Dorian. We're talking about what happened right here tonight.
That's right. Yeah, it was a very active way to wrap up the day, right? Thunderstorms rolling through the valley, especially the Salt Lake Valley. They intensified with the heavy rain. In fact, many areas picking up about 1/4 of an inch of rain in just a matter of minutes. But these storms were quick movers, so we didn't have too many problems from that, thank goodness. Here's a look at the radar right now, and there's still some shower activity left over, not as intense, but you can see some pockets of yellow as we move out of Salt Lake County into Davis County, so north of the airport here, and we still have some moderately heavy rain and light green here, light to moderate rain coming down in those areas from Salt Lake down towards South Jordan, though we're trying to clear things up in South Jordan quite a bit. Lehigh to Provo clearing out after the storms, and as we broaden the view, you can see a couple of showers rolling out of Tooele County and Box Elder County, but those are fizzling out quickly too, and even the showers going along the Wasatch Mountains towards southwest Wyoming are starting to fizzle out. That's going to be the trend for the rest of the night. We do have still a few moderately heavy showers remaining in Beaver County. Those will try to fizzle. A little bit of light rain down in St. George. That will also taper off tonight. It's 71 degrees. We do have those few little light showers remaining. Temperatures will continue to fall, but it will be a slow drop tonight thanks to the cloud cover rolling on through. But we should get down into the 60s, which will be new for us because this week has been all about lows in the 70s, it seems like, which is way above the average of lows in the 50s this time of the year. Low to mid 70s tomorrow morning. You'll notice overcast conditions when you wake up, and we still may have a shower or thunderstorm to contend with, especially during the first half of the day along the Wasatch Front. So there's still that possibility tomorrow. Then partly sunny skies, and look at the temperatures, a nice drop by over 10 degrees. Highs tomorrow in the low to mid 80s instead of in the middle to upper 90s. Futurecast showing that overcast start tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. Chance for a few scattered showers, maybe a stray thunderstorm, especially in the higher terrain. We continue through the evening hours and we'll have some spotty activity, but we're starting to see that moisture dry up a little bit by tomorrow evening. We get to Saturday, we're back to sunshine, temperatures warm up a little more, and we really won't see too many storms at all on Saturday, but it all changes Sunday. There's a system moving in from the west that's going to bring in rain chances for northern Utah first thing Sunday morning, and even on and off throughout the day, Sunday afternoon and evening. This is going to bring us another cool down just in time to start next week, and then we could see another cool down moving in by the middle part of next week. By Wednesday, another cold front coming through. So we're going to have a series of cool down downs moving through to keep temperatures much closer to normal, if not even below normal, going into the second week of September. I think we're all ready for that. Temperature-wise, 60s and 70s again in the morning, low to mid-80s tomorrow afternoon. We'll have shower and thunderstorm chances mainly during the first half of the day. Your 7-day forecast for southern Utah, high 90s Friday, Saturday, low 90s and sunshine next week. A little cool down south too, but the big cool down northern Utah. Middle 80s tomorrow, upper 80s Saturday. We're back to the 70s Sunday, Monday, and then low 70s for highs next Wednesday, Thursday.
It's getting cooler around here, and that means bring on the NFL.
That's right. The 100th NFL season. Can you believe that?
100?
You might even remember the first one way back.
Yeah, I was about
Were
that
they wearing
day.
helmets back then?
There you go, Bob.
Not that old, really. Do I come across that old?
No, you're half that old.
Youngster.
Or young.
Youthful.
Yeah, hosting the Packers, where they were greeted by a former BYU quarterback, Jim McMahon, and that 85 Bears Super Bowl squad, I remember that one, started the second dangerous throw, Aaron Rodgers, but he locates Jimmy Graham. Former BYU tailback Jamal Williams, no yards on 5 carries, but he did catch a ball a couple times out of the backfield. But this thing would come down to this. Green Bay up 10-3 right before the 2-minute warning, but Mitchell Trubisky's ball picked by the former Bear Adrian Amos in the corner of the end zone. And Green Bay gets the first one. Since taking over for Bronco Mendenhall in 2016, Kalani Sitake is an even 20-20 as BYU's head coach, though he can get back over the 500 threshold again with a win Saturday at Tennessee. Blues' Week 1 loss was tough, but the Volunteers setback may have been even more disappointing. The Tangerine Orange were 25-point favorites last week against Georgia State. The Panthers may have finished 2-10 a year ago, but still managed to shock the 85,000 on hand in Knoxville after pulling the lever on a 38-30 upset. Tennessee, though, still a 4-point favorite to beat BYU on Saturday night.
There's some things that they're embarrassed with in that first week, just like we are, but that's only one team's going to win this week, and I think it's going to be the one that's best prepared and motivated. But when you watch them on film, you can't help but notice the size and the strength and the athleticism. There's some great-looking kids on that team.
It's a great environment to go play football in, and it's a great opportunity. It'll be a great memory, and we're just trying to get ourselves prepared to go play and be the best we can be and execute the way that we need to in order to win that game.
No Jazzman has yet to drop a single game at the World Cup in China, with the United States, France, and Australia all winning their respective groups on Thursday. Start with the U.S. taking on Japan in Shanghai, where they tipped off with 13 straight. Smooth pull-up tray off the stroke of Donovan Mitchell, and before anybody knew it, the red, white, and blue found themselves up 30. Don't fake the funk on a nasty dunk, Jaylen Brown. Right before the break, more Mitchell, a total of 10 for him. He added a nice steal as well, leading to another American deuce, 98-45 the final, as the U.S. begins round 2 on Saturday against Greece. Joe Ingles didn't connect on a single field goal for the Aussies, but he was dishing the ball out all over the place against Lithuania. Nice over-the-shoulder feed to Aaron Baines, who had 21 for Australia. Then Ingles goes length of the floor to Patty Mills, a game-high 8 dimes for Joe. Lithuania actually came back late to take the lead, though Mills bailed him out. 3 of his 23 as the mates hold on 87-82. Rudy Gobert and France also won today. And Serena Williams eyeing a spot in Saturday's U.S. Open final, where Spike Lee was among the celeb list on hand to watch Serena make quick work of Alina Svitolina tonight in the semis. So there you go, going for number 24.
There you go.
That'll be a record.
Welcome, NFL. So starting next Thursday, 1 week from tonight, we'll
Right.
have the games right here.
Oh,
NFL
finally.
Thursday on
Yeah.
Fox.
Yeah, we're all excited.
Something to celebrate.
Yep.
We'll be right back.
Thanks for being part of Fox 13 News at 9.
Have a great night. Quick Cast is next.